Well, good morning and welcome to another episode of Woodward's Watercolours. I am in the most beautiful place, I think, in Northern Ireland. I think it's the oldest planted forest actually in the country. Something in the 1750s, if my memory serves me right. Here we are in Tollymore Forest Park. We're on the foot of the Mourne Mountains. It's about an hour's journey, as I mentioned, from our house. I'm a wee bit tired. I'm going to get my coffee. I'm going to get my porridge with beautiful, sweet, lovely cinnamon. And I'm going to spend a bit of time with God. And then I am going to send the drone up and explore this beautiful place. Now, because it is such a beautiful place, I may well paint actually outside, which could be really exciting. I have my folding camp chair and my wee table and all that in the van, which is brilliant. And I don't even know what medium I'm going to do, but I am so excited. I've been so looking forward to this one. Such a beautiful place. Right, time for breakfast and relax. See you in a minute. Oh, and why don't you go and get a cup of coffee now as well? Sure, it's the perfect time for you to get something to drink, something to eat too, and I'll see you back in a minute. I have to say that being in this van never gets old, and this is my first autumn and winter being able to use it. It really is a portable office. What I've been doing is on a Friday I'll come and I'll do this video, and then I'll also spend time, because I'm also a church pastor, so I'll spend time writing my message for Sunday mornings out somewhere beautiful. What a privilege to have this, to be able to enjoy my simple porridge and coffee out in the wild, pretty much like this. What a joy. Breathe it in. I can't remember if I showed you my new heater. So it uses the gas, which is something that I already have. Doesn't take up any space. Is really super duper effective actually as well, which is so good. You can see it begin to heat up, but perfect for this environment. And also, let me just turn the camera. As you can see, because this is actually a canvas, there's actually ventilation through this as well, so it keeps me nice and safe and warm. Porridge. I've added my little bit of sweetness to it. Got my coffee. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to relax and breathe. One of the things that is I've really realised is so important when you have the camper van, if you're even there for a few hours. Public toilets. Always needed. Always think about it. Always have them beside you. Right, I'm going to send the drone up and let you see this beautiful area. Well, I hope you like that. I've got all my stuff with me. Table, board, drawing board, backpack, seat. This is hopefully where the magic begins in this beautiful place. My memory of being here is probably in my early 20s. I was down with a friend and it was around my birthday time. Autumn, you can hear the water rushing there, and it was just wonderful. So hopefully you'll enjoy this as much as I do. But we'll get set up and hopefully you enjoyed those drone shots. You can tell me what you think. Right, let's get going. It's like walking through Rivendell, and there's deep water down to the left. My goodness, I must show you this. So whenever I'm out and about, I'm looking for something that really catches my eye. Now today I have the stepping stones in mind, but I'm not sure. I might see somewhere else. But what a feast for the eyes. Definitely a Northern Irish Rivendell. Oh. That moment when a little leaf just ends up and falls right on your shoulder. Well, I finally arrived, and isn't this just the perfect setup? So I've got my chair. I'm not going to use the drone because the branches are too low and I don't want to get it lost or wrecked. I've got my little table, I've got all the equipment that I need, and as I'm walking I'm thinking about what I'm going to do. So my thoughts are I'm going to use the acrylic marker pen, and then I'm going to use the 5 Daniel Smith colours that I got in the stick watercolour sticks that I was never that happy with. I've now found a way to use them, which is really quite redemptive. I may then overlay to get some of the colours with ink tints, but we shall see. I want to show you a little bit more of the spot, particularly the stepping stones, which is just behind us, or not behind us, which is just in front of us there, and then we're going to make a start. So I'm going to use the camera that goes around my neck so that you can see what I'm drawing, and then we will make a start. But this is so exciting, such perfect weather for this. I mean, if there was sunlight it would be even better, but it's just perfect. And I've got my fleece on, another fleece on, t-shirt on, a jumper on, a woolly hat. I think it'll be okay. Let's make a start. Now just look at that reflection of these trees. We're across now, we've gone across the stepping stones. You can see them just right here. But these are the trees obviously, and look at that reflection on the water. Isn't that just absolutely beautiful? Okay, that's enough messing around now. We're gonna make our way. I'll take you across. I used to be absolutely terrified, as he pauses, of these stepping stones whenever I was a little boy, which is probably quite understandable. Now the other thing I want to say is that obviously in this video there's going to be this constant back sound of the rushing water. And look, there's sand on the ground here. There's going to be this constant sound of the rushing water. Hopefully that's going to not annoy you or put you off. But let's make a start on this scene together. Okay, so I finally picked the position. Hopefully the sound isn't too bad. What we're going to do is get this scene and obviously it goes up into the, you know, the canopy above there, and the light is actually quite low. So what I'm going to use is, hopefully there's enough ink left in this. This is a acrylic paint marker, because I really want to try and get that kind of scratchy feel. It may be better keeping this down here. So just making a start into this. Now I don't even know, I think this paper, not too sure about what this paper is actually like to use. It could be that one, not even sure if it's Sea to Brighton. But anyway, it's one that I have with me today, so that's what we're using. So I really want to keep a really nice fluid line in this. This is going to be this paper that's the difficult one. Alright, so I may need to rethink the pen that I'm going to use. And actually, whoa, and there's a dog. There's part of me that loves it when things don't go according to plan when I'm doing these videos, because that's a reality. And it's so easy to think, well, you're making these videos, therefore it always goes according to plan, when that is very much not the case. So what I'm looking for is to try and get this really lovely illustrated feel for this scene that's in front of me here. And no doubt, sometimes I'm asked about composition, you know, I don't overly consider all those things. I just tend to draw what's in front of me, and there's bits of it that, you know, when you're drawing it, you're like, oh goodness, that feels a bit awkward. And there are other bits that you think, yes, that's exactly what I'm going for here. I'm pretty convinced this is the paper that I don't like. This looks like this super absorbent kind of thing. Now this is going to really affect the quality of line that I'm going to produce today, and I have to be okay with that. So I am now committed into this, and I am not giving up. And I think that, you know, that could be one of the most helpful things that you glean from this video. It's actually Jeepers, Colin has arrived at this place. He's got his paper prepared, and it's not the paper that he wants. What's he going to do? What would you do at this point? Would you give up? Would you throw it in the bin? I only have smaller paper with me, and I really want to use this bigger paper today, so this is what I've got. I think all those things, like I said, I am an optimist, very much so, and I think that you have to work with what you've got and what you've got with you. Now you can beat yourself up if you want to, but what's going to be the benefit in that? So let's keep getting these rocks in, keep getting this scene together. I think I'm actually going to really enjoy this today, you know. This has not gone the way I thought it would, but let's let go of the expectations. I know I'm always saying that, but it's true. Let's let go of the expectations of what we hoped and thought would happen, and embrace actually what is happening. Okay, so actually what I will do is I'm going to need to put in the photograph of the scene so you guys can see it. If I'd been a little bit more on it, I would probably have done out a little print of it. I actually have my camera in my bag too, so I don't know whether that's something that I'll do when I'm getting organised for the next section, or I may just keep you with me for that entire thing. Okay, so now I'm getting used to how this paper is responding and how the pen is working with it, which is going to help me a lot. There's so much constant learning with art. It's only the other day I was doing I tend to constantly work on an oil at the same time as I'm doing lots of different, you know, commissions or just paintings in watercolour, and I really like the variety of that. Let's angle this around a little bit more so you can see, and so that would maybe help tilt that up a bit there, and so I tend to have an oil painting that's going on at the same time. And it was the other night, I was like, there's something that's really annoying me about this painting. I can't seem to quite get it to where I wanted to go. And then I realised That actually what it's about is using the oil paint straight for me, gives me the effect that I want. And I thought, I've been doing this for years, and there's things that I'm really only learning now. So it takes time, doesn't it? And understanding doesn't come just because it should have come. It comes when it comes. So embracing things that happen in the process as it comes to you. Okay, so getting the structure of these rocks, and this is actually the thing that's hit me most about this scene is the rocks, because this is a really quite a strong and thick nib pen. Oh goodness, it's very freeing actually. Isn't that ironic? Just because it's a thicker nib, but like the magic pencil for me, which is a real tool for loosening me up whenever I'm drawing. This seems to be very much the same. Just that little press in there of the nib pushes into itself and then seems to ink itself back up again. Now there's this lovely tree, this little young tree. I think it's actually, even the way the marks are sort of jagging into the paper a little bit. They're so interesting to me. I'm going to leave out that fence that's behind there. I thought there was sunlight there actually, but I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just maybe it is, but it's the light just as it's coming through, and because it's a really cloudy day today, the light's really diffused as it's coming through, which is really good for us when we're filming. Right, let me tip this up a little bit more so you can still see what I'm doing. And there's another dog. Seems to be a reality of when you draw outside, dogs are going to be there. Okay, so getting on the structure here. Now that rock there could have been a lot further down, but what we're going to do then is bring another rock by its buddy here further into the foreground. Gonna just notice how I moved there from being further back to adjusting closer, and the reason I did that was I wanted a little bit more control, just get in a little bit more of the detail of the scene. Now there's another rock here, it's jutting out there, which I want to get in. Okay, and then we've got the loads of the water. I'm really excited about using the colours that I have with the Daniel Smith watercolor sticks. It was a real, for those of you who've seen that video, I was so deeply disappointed by having spent 45, nearly 50 pounds on those 5 to figure out that they really didn't work as a drawing implement. They just really weren't that successful. And maybe you love them as a drawing implement. Some people told me that they weren't designed to be that, and I was going, well, looks like a stick that you would draw with. So I was a little befuddled by that. But anyway, then someone had said to cut them up, and I cut them up, and boys, I've then now bought the colours because I just absolutely love them so much. Now we've got this massive big boulder that's happening now. It's really like almost reptilian. I'll just show you it there. This one, it's almost kind of reptilian, and it's the markings and form that it has. Just going to pull this down into the, some pressing on this to try and get it to do what I'm looking for it to do. Trying to get some of those markings on that boulder. So this is obviously leading you down then, more down the page. So I've gone actually from top to bottom, whereas normally what I tend to do is to go from top left. Well, I suppose I did start in that general direction, but There's so many rocks, it's just quite overwhelming, honestly. And also what I can do then, now, that's an interesting thing I just said there about the rocks being so overwhelming, because a lot of the time the detail can be something that we just go, it's just too much. Don't put it all in. Just reminding myself there as much as you guys, you know. Not have to put it all in, it's up to you. You're the artist. Adjusted my grip again there, for those of you who noticed that. And you adjust the grip, or I find you adjust the grip because you're looking for a little bit more detail. And I'm really quite pleased with how this is going. Now I was going to say I'm nervous about how this is going to. Now then, this is where the mother of all rocks is here. It's totally taken over the entire world. This rock down here, this bottom, okay, and I'm going to drop it down so I can see. Loads of leaves there. So this one is, I'm having to work with this as it goes, because I've had to adjust with how the paint marker is showing up on this paper, because it's ridiculously absorbent. Would I choose to use this paper? No. But I have used it today, unbeknownst to me. It looked so like the others. Should have known. Don't even know where this paper has come from, to be honest. Can't even think where I got it from. Could be also that my pen marker is dying. Let's get that, give it a good old shake. Oh, there we are, it's recharged it now. Brilliant. So, not looking to get in everything. And this one here is super dark on this point there. And there. And just looking to see, and then there's that one across here. Just getting in the lines of those. Okay, I think we'll finish with the line work there. Put a little Colin 25 in there, which should just look like another bit of rock. Love hiding the things in. Oh, perfect point to say, now's the time. If you're interested in a commission, let me know, talk to me. Obviously, you know, from if you've watched these videos at all, I'm not going to be offended if you ask me the pricing process and you guys go, nope, not for me. Totally fine. Really appreciate you getting in touch. But now is the time, folks. If you're thinking about it for Christmas gifts or anything like that, do get in touch. Still got room in the diary. Okay, so just look in this section here. Okay, now there's also loads more trees happening up here. And I think I'm just going to try and get in a little bit of that. Now there's people behind me. And then all of these trees jutting up, out and in, stretching way, way, way up. Keeping the grip fairly tight for this one. Really, with the trees, ironically, when I was a kid and even at art college and things, I didn't love trees. I find them exceptionally difficult to do. Now they're my favourite thing. I'm going to give you a bit of the history of the name Woodward, because Woodwards, my surname is Woodward, hence the Woodwards watercolours. The Woodwards were wood wardens. They guarded forests, and I just love being in forests. Can't tell you how much I love being in a forest. Okay, so I think we've laid down what we need to lay down. The next bit then is to get these colours activated. Now, I think the best way, I've actually become quite fond of this brush. Now, this brush is a Specialist Crafts. So it's a super cheap, it's one of the ones that you'll buy in like a pack of 50 for £7 or something in your local kind of dollar store or pound store. And I just like it because it's quite firm. It's not going to hold a ridiculous amount, because I have my son's little credit card palette, and I have put the Daniel Smith sticks in here. So I don't have loads and loads of space, but I do have a little bit. If you're interested in these palettes, they are super duper reasonable, and Isaac designed them and prints them on his 3D printer. So I shall put the link into the Etsy listing of all of his different palettes, and you can knock yourselves out. Okay, so going to do my 3 lifts. Oh gosh, I'm really excited about using these colours. I'm going to just activate those ones there anyway. So this is serpentine green as far as I know. So I've ordered, yes it is, this daft super absorbent paper, which is going to really be hard to use, but we are going to make it work. Look at that. I am literally dropping that in, and it is just now the interesting thing is going to be when I'm trying to add in, like, let's go with, I don't even know what that colour is. Look, that's dotted there. Oh well. So we're on a very limited palette here. That's going to work actually quite nicely. But what will make a lot of sense is to then, so I need to mix loads and loads of this, and I'm probably going to need a thicker brush. My poor little craft brush was having its day in the sun there. Now I need this one to be able to get the volume of water that is necessary to get this done. Okay, so I swear that feels like it's getting lighter and lighter up there. Just gonna have to keep rolling in the water. So tend to then just swipe it off the side there like that. So here we are. I'm doing a YouTube video, and I've got the wrong paper, got the paper that I don't like, and I need to make this work. So let's make it work, because it's a good skill to have, being alive, isn't it? Right, some of this here. I'm going to dot this around. The serpentine green, normally it granulates. Not on this paper. Not on this paper it won't. And I don't know, I mean, I don't even think it looks like you're able to get layers on this. Anyway, stop your moaning, Colin. This is where you are. This is what you've got. Just embrace it. So I'm going to make this stronger. This is one of the genuine colours. There's one of these that is super granulating, and I would love to have really shown that at its best. Okay, so I need to stop talking now about what I wish I could have done and actually embrace what is happening here. You never know. Could be one of my most favourite paintings yet. Okay, so let's get some of this dark. Yes, now that's going to work. Just getting those richer tones in there. And on this side as well, need a bit more water. I actually love being limited to a palette as well, because it means that you just have to make it work too, you know. Need a bit more of that red in there. Should really be able to tell you what that red is, shouldn't I? What I am absolutely loving about this is the freedom that I'm getting from just splishing and splashing these colours around. It's just wonderful. Okay, so Next thing we're going to do is get this water in. I'm not sure which colour that one is. Yes, that's one of the ones we want. And this brush is the Unbelievable Hoover. Yeah, it's the super granulating one there. That's the blue, that's right. I'm remembering now. Well, it's not blue, it's more of a Payne's grey, but in my head it's the blue tone of what we're using today anyway. Okay, and this one's it's pretty mega dark. So what I'm trying to mix is the colour of the water, because the water has a greeny kind of tone because it's reflecting the trees. And also, yes, let that suck it up there. There we go. So I'm treating it a little bit more like I'm doing an oil painting or an acrylic painting because of the nature of the way the paper's working, which is not a complaint. Not a complaint. Promise, I'm not. That's nice. Ooh, I like how that's going. Let's see if I drop that on there. Go. Yes. Just squeezing the brush out there. Okay. So let me get this palette a little bit cleaner. It's quite an interesting scene actually with. Now we're going to use loads of this blue tone. Sorry, the bluey grey, which is going to be absolutely perfect for the rocks. Give me a little bit of depth in there. I'm actually able to, and because of the, it seems to be, the more that you drop on, it's almost acting like blotting paper. So seems to be the more that you drop on then, now I think the paper really buckles as well, which I think there's one of them in my exhibition actually that has this paper used in it, and it did go all kind of crinkly, but how I mounted it then was with behind, yeah, that seems to be how you do sorry, I'm thinking out loud here, how it seems to be that you do the shadows that's a great stone colour there as well. Seems to be the best way to do the shadows is by just adding in loads and loads of the pigment. Yes, it's lovely. So pleased. Oh goodness, the effect of the paper is actually lovely. What am I talking about here? Okay, and then if I do swooshes and sweeps on this, swooshes and sweeps, get some of the blue grey in there, because that one's definitely more blue kind of grey. And we need to get, just following this on down. There's another dog. Seems to be dog central down here. Using that more rocky kind of colour. And this one is the same, so let's suck up all of that from there. Right, so I've got this. I'm gonna need to make this much darker down this section, and then get the river to run through, and then we want to put in the trees as well. I love how messy this is going. I actually don't think that I'm going to need the... okay, so what was I wanting to do? I'm wanting to get it much darker down here, which that colour's definitely going to achieve. And we're getting a little bit of the red in this section too, a little bit of that. Okay, not overly down about how that's come out there, so let's not push that. I think the thing to do is let's get more of the light. So I think it is sort of moderating, you know, when something's working, it's working. When it's not working, just let it go. Will be the sage advice, I think. So trying to do this, love that colour. Just wonderful for the branches of the trees, isn't it? Really quite nice. And effectively at this point I am basically colouring in. And the freedom in this paper is that it's going to bleed, and you're going to have to let it bleed, because that's what it's doing. And it also does let you be a bit more kind of clumsy and loose, which is nice. It's a nice thing to do. I'm going to mix the green, the serpentine green, and that, whatever that colour is that I'm using for the pebbles together to try and get that for what's going on there in the distance a little bit. More of that pebbly green, not pebbly green, the sort of stone colour. Bring it along here. Actually just squeeze it like that. That seems to work quite well too. Sort of is releasing it where it needs to go, it seems. And then we've got this, got the wonderful tree over here now. It's got a kind of a viridian blue sort of green going on there. Sorry, I'm shaking you all violently there because I'm trying to get the sense of that tree in there. Sorry about that. You'll have total and utter shell shock from me giving it a bit of a shake. Okay, the other thing I wanted to do was some of those rocks had... Yes, that's working. I like that now. Just the edge of that branch there. And also, you know, a lot of these trees here are pretty green. Trying to bring in some sort of layering here to this paper is pretty darn interesting, but we shall try. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is to try and get the water to move across here a bit and on through there, so it looks like it's going on. But that idea of the water just sort of seeping in seems to work quite well. Boy, this did not go the way I expected today. And yet, it's alright, isn't it? Have we survived it? Oh, big drop there. I think we've survived it. It's this sort of a murky, greeny tone. Yeah, I think that's pretty good there. Trying to get the sense of some of this water. Somebody's singing there, I think. And actually some of the water actually has a little bit of that rich red in it, so let's add that for the last. Sorry, giving you a good old shake again. Okay, so I think that is where I am going to finish that one today. Did it go any way that I thought it would go? Not at all. But am I glad that it went the way it went? Yeah, I think so. So there you are. Tollymore Forest. Okay, so I thought it was done. I've just been staring at it probably for about, I don't know how long for now. But what I've realised is that there's a distinct lack of differentiation of tone. So I'm just going to go in and make a concerted effort to add in a bit more tone, and hopefully you will see the benefit that this brings to the overall piece. Because I'm forever saying that if you can get the darkest points, then you'll actually find the painting comes alive a good bit more. So there's a number of spots in this, and I'm effectively using that darker tone, which is really lovely and soft now, which normally I don't want with watercolour, but because of the nature of this, it's turned out to be something that's incredibly illustrated, which I actually really love. But what I've had to do is to think on my feet, because this is not the type of paper that I would ever choose to use, and therefore it's it needs certain things that other papers don't, you know. So just bringing this in, and also then the other skill is to not overdo it, because you don't want it to be as if everything that you're doing has now got a touch of black in it. So I'm showcasing that brush again. But I really appreciate whoever it was that said to me that to cut up the Daniel Smith watercolour sticks and put them in a little half pan, because that's been a real game changer and has allowed me to use something that I'd really sort of just accepted was a waste of money. Don't like wasting time or resources, whatever those resources may be. So thank you to the person who told me about that. So hopefully what I'm going to be able to do as well is demo that actually you can use the same colour to bring depth as well. So I'm going to go in with the serpentine green. Now the serpentine green is such a gorgeous colour when it separates out as well. So I am annoyed that I'm not able to show that, but sure, be loads of other opportunities hopefully. Hands are starting to shake a little bit because it's so cold. Not that it's so cold, but it's just definitely not warm. Okay. Wanting to get those little bits and bobs in there. Trying to define the areas a little bit more. I'm definitely happier realizing the need to do that with this. Just bringing in, you know, even up here, this is washi tape. I'd never used washi tape before Toby had suggested it, but it's great stuff. Okay, and this spring, that's so granulating, that stuff, it's great. So just bringing, like, this part is really, I mean, I suppose one of the advantages of this paper is you're certainly not having to wait to bring in any depth or layer, because jeez, always slightly nervous when there's dogs, because what if they shake all over it? Well, if they shake all over it, Colin, they shake all over it. Not much I can do. Hand's really starting to shake now, must be because it's getting a bit colder. And actually just adding in those areas there is giving this idea that there is much more, many more rocks, sorry. Such an interesting paper. I'd love to know what type of paper it is, or is it paper that's got so old that it's lost its kind of acidic quality and it just effectively has now become like a blotting paper? Hard to know what's going on with it. Definitely happier with having more of those lines in there. Definitely happier. Feels like the picture is actually coming a bit more alive now, which is good. And actually what happens is that I'm able to add in more things, because the line mark of the trees even, you know, it's great. So just effectively drawing in a few more lines there. Okay, I think now I'm happier. Now we're done. I know. I thought I was done too, but then what I thought was, as I was looking at it, I thought, well, do you know what it needs? It needs some Neocolour 2 Caran Dash. It needs some Derwent ink tints. So let's see how this, oh yes, this is hopefully going to add a lot of life and light to it that just was clearly missing. Oh yes, I am. Sorry, doing a bit of a Harry Met Sally that there. But just so delighted. I mean, I'm not expecting to do loads and loads and loads with this either, but because the paper, just, sorry, I'm going on about the paper. I do not need to go on about the paper. What I mean to go on about is that actually what this has done is provided an opportunity to need to adjust and adapt and to do something a little bit different. So grateful for that. And then also there's some branches across here that are meandering through, and I can now add them in, which is going to add so much more to the actual scene. Rolling it around here, getting some of this light green in there too. Some of the branches and things. I mean, it's not, this paper does not accept anything in the way that I'm used to it accepting. And actually, it's a very interesting thing. So, yes, so there you are. I can begin to bring in some of these tones and things that just were not really present or working with the watercolour. It's going to accept them that little bit better from here. I wonder, is this going to add some value to these scenes? And it absolutely is. And actually, because some of this is still slightly wet, It almost looks a bit like marker pen. So I need to bring this down so I can actually see it. Feels and looks like it's acting a little bit like a markers, pro markers, sorry, that's the word I'm looking for. Pro markers on pro marker paper. And I am a sucker for pro markers and how they, absolutely love how they work together. And really the other thing that this is going to do is going to let me get a really nice rich feel in this. I've got a grey there. Is that a grey? An umber? Interesting. Get this water flowing a little bit better. Loving how messy this is. Do you know, it's taken me a long time to feel this liberated with. Okay, have we reached the... Oh, maybe not. Getting a bit of that black in there. Yes, it is actually. That's interesting. It actually is to do with... Let's see if I can find that grey again, wherever it's gone to. There it is. It's not a grey actually, it's the umber. Do you know what? Let's move to the Derwent ink tints as well, because is that storm dust? It's Payne's grey. I'm looking for storm dust. There it is. I want to see what storm dust is like on this paper. Even it's moving interestingly on this as well. So we started off with, I had some expectations and very quickly had to dash those because this was not going to go the way that I hoped it would go. And then we have to work with what we've got. Hey, the pastor in me could write a message off the base of that. But this, just accepting what's happening. It's adding another rock there. It doesn't exist. Does now. And there's so many different rocks happening down in this section here. And the storm dust doesn't even really do justice to... I feel like I should take a bit of time really and gather in some of the... I love how messy it is. Goodness. Younger me would have been crying, going, this is a disaster. This is terrible. And I just think it's great. Okay, so what I want, maybe a little bit of baked earth actually might be quite appropriate, methinks. Yeah, it's the same actually as that. It's not a bit too mad. It's something, one more of the browns. This chocolate, is that chocolate? No matter brown. That would probably do. Good job there. Again, picking up on something else that's in there. Oh yes, I'm going to be able to get the branches in there. It so seems like up there is sunlight. It's not actually sunlight though. It's just the light coming through the trees. A bit mad really. Need to bring a little bit more definition to this down here just to make it work in. Yeah, that's good. Darting all over the place now because I'm excited. Because it actually finally feels like it is the Payne's, it's not the Payne's grey, the Derwent ink tints that are bringing a little bit of definition to some of what's actually going on down here. not even down here, some of what's actually going on in this entire painting artwork. I would say work of art, and then stop myself. It is a work of art. Okay, I think I'm fiddling a little bit. I want to fiddle one more section, and then this has to be me finished. Like I can't keep doing it to you, telling you that I'm finished, and then going back for a third time. And this is the longest video I now have ever done. Yes, we've got leaf green now, which is really on its side, is just working its magic, really. I'm going to end up ripping into this paper in a second if I don't. Yeah, it's starting to lift up the fibres on it. So I think that is pure and simple indication that we have reached our maximum. I also just want to try and get in a little bit of depth into this tree here. Okay. I'm actually more pleased with it in real life than it looks through this lens. I'm just pleased that it kept going, I think, actually, as well, because it was a total and utter... Just it shocked me how the paper was reacting. And you think about it, I did the pen, which was a struggle, then I added in the watercolour, which didn't do what it normally does. Then I stopped, then I added in some more definition in these kind of areas here, which I'm pleased about. But again, we've gone way into like what feels nearly like I don't know what it is, spray paint or something. And then after that, telling you it was done again. Sorry about telling you it was done twice. And then after that, then adding in the Caran Neocolour 2 and the Derwent ink tends to bring some sort of a little bit more definition to it. I am probably more, I'm not displeased with it. I am quite pleased with it. But what I am more pleased about is the process that I had to work through to get there. And I hope that that's what you glean from this. I almost don't know what to say to you. That's the longest video I've ever done. It's the most times that I've told you that I was finished, and yet it's the most frustrating in terms of the paper didn't go the way that I wanted it to, and therefore then it accepted everything in a different way than I'm used to. And yet I'm absolutely delighted that I persevered. I'm pretty pleased with that outcome from working with what I've got. Apologies again for the 3 times I told you that I had finished when I hadn't. Anyhow, I hope that you have really enjoyed this place. Tollymore Forest is just so beautiful. It's called an area of outstanding natural beauty, and it is most definitely that. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to be with me as I create a little bit of artwork. For more information about me, you can head to Woodward's Watercolours. It'll give you all the portfolio of my work, different things, all that you would need to know. But as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that little bell icon, and I will see you in the next video sometime soon. Thanks again for watching, and bye for now.